I turned 21 on October 26th, and today I will give you the most valuable art advice that I've learned in my 21 years as an artist. Well, I didn't come out of my mom's womb and could draw and paint, but you know what I mean. Let's get into it. Make art for you. This is something I slowly had to learn over time. Don't make art to please others or because you think you have to do a certain thing to be successful or make money. Make art that fulfills you and brings you joy. Art is a way to express the most vulnerable parts of our soul, so make art that speaks to you. Which brings us directly to our next point. Don't compare yourself to others. This is probably one of the most important things, especially in today's social media world. When you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and seeing all these amazing artists doing crazy paintings and drawings, it can be really hard to not compare yourself to them and feel discouraged about your own work. Everyone is at a different stage in their art journey, and you can't compare your first painting to someone's 100th painting. The only artist you should compare yourself to is the artist you were yesterday. And don't forget, practice, practice, practice. Art is a skill that doesn't just come overnight. You won't wake up one day and start creating masterpieces. Every great artist you know has started somewhere, but they developed their skill because they practiced for years. Remember, great artists are bad artists who never gave up. So even if you just practice for 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, I promise you will see results. But be patient with yourself. And maybe this is a controversial opinion, but I think that talent doesn't exist. Comments like, "You're so talented, I could never do that because I don't have your talent," just rub me the wrong way. Saying stuff like this takes away all the years of hard work, nights of me crying on my desk because I hated my artwork and didn't see any improvement. So no, I wasn't born with this natural talent that magically allowed me to create masterpieces every time I touched a pencil. I worked my tits off to get to this point. Literally. And something that helped me get past the stage of feeling like an absolute failure, not seeing any improvement, was take your time, but stay consistent. Everyone learns at a different pace. And this is where not comparing yourself to others plays a big role again. Just because other artists learn faster than you or improve faster than you doesn't make you a bad artist. There will be times where you hate your own creations, but you just have to push through. Don't stress yourself. You will get there if you just stay consistent and keep practicing. But while you do that, don't forget to get out of your comfort zone. You won't get better at, for example, realistic human portraits if you just draw stylized animals all the time. Get out of your comfort zone and get some variety in your work. For years, I only drew human faces from a 3/4 angle because I knew how to do that and what to do to make it look good. But because of that, I struggled a lot with other stuff like landscapes or architecture. So make sure to draw lots of different things, but don't forget to use references. This is so important. Draw from references or even make your own. Making your own references is so much fun, and I do it all the time. Don't expect from yourself that you can draw everything there is from the top of your head. You're not a computer, and memorizing everything there is an impossible task. Using references isn't cheating, and it will help you improve faster. The most valuable tip when using references is draw what you see, not what you think you see. This is inevitable when you want to work realistically or just want to make sure you get your proportions right. Just because you already drew something 100 times before and technically know what it looks like, doesn't mean you get to the desired result. Study your reference closely and try to copy what you see. Don't directly copy other artists' work though, but if you do, make sure to credit them if you post it somewhere. You don't want to get sued for copyright infringement. Copying other artists' work can also lead to copying their mistakes, which is something you don't want in your own art. As soon as you nail drawing from reference, experiment to find the right medium. Finding the right medium for your specific art style is a fun journey. Find out which medium suits your art and delivers your message the best. My main medium today is oil paint because I just love working with it, and it gives off this raw and vulnerable energy that I just want for my art. Before, I used to work in graphite, watercolor, and even digitally for a few years. If you're interested in how my art style evolved and which mediums I used over the years, I recommend you check out last week's video where I show you a very detailed insight into my art journey all the way from the beginning to now. But now let's get to the next tip. Only compete with yourself. Let's talk art competitions. My first art competition was in elementary school, and since then I participated in many more. The one in elementary school was the only one where I won a prize, but that's just because I was the only artist who participated. The other kids weren't really interested in drawing, so that was easy for me. I used to follow a lot of big artists on Instagram who hosted art competitions from time to time and draw this in your style challenges where you could win a little something, but I never won anything. I remember feeling so disheartened when looking at the other artists' entries and feeling bad about myself and my art. I stopped participating in these challenges a long time ago because I realized that the only artist you need to compete with is the artist you were yesterday. There are no rules as long as you are happy with your art. And please, don't be afraid to call yourself an artist. A lot of people think that you're only allowed to call yourself an artist if you do art professionally. I see it this way. You make art? You're an artist. Go with it. Wear it like a crown. Calling yourself an artist can help a lot with holding yourself accountable. Don't talk down on yourself and stop yourself from growing. You're an artist. And remember, you have to make bad art to become a great artist. Like I said before, there will be times where you hate your own creations. Try to see every failed piece as a building block for something bigger. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are great artists. You can critique your own work, but don't be too harsh on yourself. We ourselves tend to be our own worst critics. Remember, you're here to tell a bigger story, so please don't give up. Because it's the process, not the product, that counts. Every artwork is a learning opportunity, and if you follow the tips I already gave you, like finding your medium, getting better, experimenting, finding confidence in your abilities as an artist, the process is honestly the most enjoyable part. Because you get to see what you can do, and you get so impressed by yourself. Keep practicing, keep creating, and please don't throw any image you create away. If you've seen my last video, you know that I still have drawings from 18 years ago. And because of that, it's very easy to see my improvement over the years. So please save your old art, even if you hate it and you think it's terrible. You will only see the improvements you've made when you look back at them. In fact, you can do this today. After finishing this video, take a look at your old artworks to see how much you've grown. If you have an art Instagram, you can start by scrolling all the way to the bottom of the page to where you posted your first artworks. Go get that confidence boost. And if you're struggling in the technical aspect of drawing or painting, here are some technique-related tips. Drawing flat on the table can alter the perspective. Let me clarify. If your piece of paper is laying flat on the table, you're looking at it from this angle. This will alter the perspective and can really mess with your sketch, especially when you use references. But don't worry, there are a few ways to solve this. You could use a big piece of cardboard, some painter's tape, and a table easel and set it up so that you look straight at the paper. If you don't have any of these materials, stepping back from your sketch and looking at it from different angles can be very helpful as well. Or just tape it against the wall and do your sketch this way. Another very helpful tip is mirror your art to check for mistakes. I have this little mirror on my desk all the time. It's so helpful to mirror your art because little mistakes in, for example, proportions can be spotted way easier. If you don't have a small mirror for your table, just use a regular mirror that's hanging on the wall. Finished your sketch? Let's move on to the next tip. Do color mock-ups and try different moods. Before you put any paint on the paper or canvas, have a clear concept in mind. If you know exactly what you want to do and which colors to use, it's a lot harder to mess up. I do my mock-up sketches digitally, but of course you can do them on a piece of paper as well. To do that, you just create a quick thumbnail sketch, nothing fancy, just to get the main aspects of the painting sketched in. Do more than one so you have more room to experiment. Then start coloring the sketches to create different moods and light settings until you're happy. I did these sketches in a sketchbook, and I want you to know that messy sketchbooks are good sketchbooks. I always wanted my sketchbooks to look perfect and polished, when in reality, a sketchbook is a place to mess up and experiment. Of course, you can have very nice and polished pages in between, but don't be afraid to have an ugly sketchbook. Know your tools. Expensive, high-quality art supplies don't make a good artist, but they can help. It's much harder to work and create something nice with cheap, low-quality supplies, and the process isn't very enjoyable either. Of course, you shouldn't go out there and buy the most expensive supplies you can find. Even I use some cheap materials to this day. Invest in the materials you can afford at the time. And keep in mind that, especially when it comes to painting, cheap paint tends to fade a lot when it's exposed to sunlight. So you're not only investing in good art supplies, but in your own art as well. Now onto my favorite tip. Put yourself out there. I can't stress this enough. I know it's scary, but it's honestly the best thing that can happen to you and your art. What I mean by that is start posting your art on social media. Tell everyone you're an artist. Don't shut up about your art. How are people supposed to know you if you're not putting yourself out there? Don't be afraid of criticism, because there will always be people who don't like what you do, and it's impossible to please everyone. So you might as well just do what makes you happy, because these people exist no matter what you do. And the positive feedback that comes with posting your art online is so amazing and a huge confidence boost. Punch fear in the face and create that account. But keep in mind that Instagram is a dying platform and the future is video. Just putting that out here, more about that in a future video. And now, probably the most important tip of this entire video. Have fun. Maybe you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now because there's just so much you can do and you're scared that you might not make it as an artist. In this entire process of creating art, don't forget to have fun. Mess up and laugh about it. It's no big deal. Tomorrow is a new day and you're improving with every single piece you create. It's a journey. Embrace it. Becoming an artist is one of the most amazing things that can happen to you. Be proud of yourself. Enjoy the process. And if you're interested in how my art evolved through the years, I recommend you check out the video that is appearing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in this video next.